Here we got a Hohensee restoration we did through the shop recently. Wasn't too much damage involved, but there was a fair bit of work with the finishing off, pin lines and getting it all nice, polished and glossed for the end result. So here I've just prepped it all up with 40 and 60 grit, prepped all the dings, removed the box, got it ready for patching up, filling any holes and resetting the original box back in the board. Working on this restoration, we went through, we filled them all the dings, only a couple needed filling, but a fair few needed glassed up. Once you got them all glassed up, it's fairly straightforward. Just then you got to blend them in, and then you're waiting for the finish coat. And we also reset the box in this as well, which you'll see. So that's the box reset, all level, all nice and straight, ready to go. We also had an original logo dropped off by Nev Hyman. We set that in, removed the old one completely without going through the glass, which was good. It was just floated on the top, so eventually it will flake away with how old the board is. So here we've just redone and resealed in another one. A fair bit of fiddling around with it. You just want to get it all nice and level. Nice even coat on the top, then it'll come up perfect. So here's the board, all the dings glassed up, filler coated, ready to be sanded and prepped, ready for finish coat. After that, we'll do our pin lines, tape them up, measure them up, check them, make sure they look all good, and then either spray or resin the pin lines back on, ready to seal them in with the final finish or the gloss coat. And once that all is all done, this is pretty much our final finish coat or gloss coat, you could call it, depending on how good you've prepped and how well you've sealed up the board. As long as you don't have any pinholes, air holes or divots or anything in this finish coat, then you don't really have to gloss coat it, as long as you get it perfect. So go bottom, top to bottom, side to side, slapping the brush on each rail, and then we go round the under rail because we're wrapping this one as well. Clean up any drip marks and make sure there's not any major blobs or drips on the underside. This kind of thing does take a bit of practice, but it's all just looking and making sure you've got it all nice before it fully goes off. That way you don't really get any brush marks or drip marks. If you brush it as it's gone off, you'll then get brush marks through the finish coat, which is then harder to sand out and get a perfect finish at the end. As you can see, it takes a bit of fiddling around, but you might as well spend the time, and that way the end result comes out a lot cleaner. Once the bottom's gone off enough, you can then flip, and then same with the top. Same steps again, making sure it's all perfect. You want your resin as even as possible, and then on your rails you want them doubled up with resin and even smoother than the last one, so it takes even less sanding. When you finish sand or gloss, finish it. Same again, check your rails, check your underside, check for bristles, and get the finish as perfect as possible. That way, less sanding at the end makes everything a lot easier. So leave that dry. Once that's gone, we're on to sanding. With this one, I hit it with an old piece of 400, knocked all the hard edges down like I was talking about, and then I went straight to the 800 wet rub, from there into the 2000, and then polish. 2000 takes a lot longer than normal, for me anyway. You just want to get it as perfect as possible, so once you buff it, nothing stands out. If you buff it, polish it, and you have streak marks or lines in it, then you need to do more 2000 and remove the marks that are there. Thanks for watching, guys.